It's easier to create a repeating pattern in Illustrator. If needed, I can align forms that already exist. You can find the alignment commands from the second row if you have selected multiple forms. They also have their own panel, Align. You can, for example, align the forms from their upper side. The other commands are alignment to the left, alignment to the right, horizontal align center, vertical align bottom, vertical align center. The axis becomes important when I have different sized forms. On the second row, you can find distribute objects. You can distribute them evenly on the vertical or horizontal axis. In this case, the best would be horizontal distributes center. Now the forms are distributed evenly. With this tool, I can create patterns with forms that already exist. Another easy way to create a pattern is the duplicate command. I alt-drag the form to another position. By alt-dragging, I copy the form and move it. After this, I can duplicate. Duplicate will do exactly the same transformation I just did. In this case, copying and moving. The hotkey for duplicate is Ctrl-D. Illustrator moved and copied a new green rectangle. I can press Ctrl-D as many times as I want. To repeat the pattern to the other direction, I would select all of the forms, alt-drag to copy and move them, and then press Ctrl-D until I have enough forms. This is a fast and easy way to create a pattern. If I want to edit multiple forms, there is a specific command for this. For example, I would like to have all of the squares smaller but on the same position. You can do this from Object, Transform, Transform Each. I can, for example, scale the forms to become 80% of the original. I check this from Preview, I like it, I click OK. If I need to have a more complicated pattern, I will use the dedicated pattern option. For this, I first need several forms. They can be as complicated as you want. When I have all the forms to the pattern, I select them and command them to become a pattern. Object, Pattern, Make. Illustrator tells me that the pattern is now created to the swatches panel, and all the edits I now do will affect the swatch. Now I'll enter the Edit Pattern mode. In this view mode, I can see how my pattern would look like. The actual forms are in the center in the blue rectangle. Illustrator opens the Pattern Options panel and shows me on the second level that I am now editing a pattern. I can now edit the pattern. The preview will show these edits live. If I want my pattern to be continuous, I want to break either of the sides and the bottom or top with the forms. You can also tile the pattern in different ways. In a grid, in bricks in 2 ways, or in hex in 2 ways. If I'm happy with the pattern, I double-click on the empty space or click Done on the 4th level. I'm back in the normal view mode, and the changes I did to the pattern are saved in the pattern swatch. The swatch now works normally. I create a form and add the fill to become the pattern swatch. In the normal mode, if I now resize the form, the pattern inside doesn't change. If I want the pattern to change inside the form, I need to change the scale options. You can change the scaling options from Object Transform Scale or by double-clicking the Scale tool. If I want the pattern to change size inside the form, I select Transform Patterns. Now the forms in the pattern change as the object is scaled. If I want to change the scaling back, I just double-click on the Scaling tool again. Because I didn't have any color behind the forms, the pattern is transparent. I can now put it above any colored form. To have the pattern saved, I need to do it from the extra menu in the Swatches panel. Save swatch library as AI. The ASE doesn't save patterns or gradients.